Hello aspirants, welcome to Current Affairs for Beginners session by La Excellence, and this session will help beginners in reading the Hindu newspaper. Let me give you answers for yesterday's questions, and the first question is, which among the following is responsible for releasing Consumer Price Index? See, we have three types in this Consumer Price Index, and among that, two of those were released by Ministry of Labour, and one among that is released by Central Statistical Office. And here in the answer there was given only Central Statistic Office, means in the question this Consumer Price Index means Consumer Price Index combined, and the answer is B, Central Statistical Office. Second question is with reference to Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. Consider the following statements about Mudra Bank. The first statement is, it refinances all microfinance institutions engaged in the business of agricultural credit. The statement is wrong because this Mudra Bank will refinance microfinance institutions that are engaged in micro, small, medium enterprises, not in agricultural credit. So this statement is wrong. And the second statement is, its loan instrument Kishore covers about 5 lakh rupees and up to 10 lakh rupees. This statement is also wrong. So the answer is D, neither one nor two. Topics covered under today's code are National Company Law Tribunal, National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, E-Box Initiative, National Waterways in India, Polio virus, Paris Agreement, Open Market Operations, Nobel Medicine Prize, and Environmental Pollution Prevention and Control Authority. Let us discuss all these in detail. Government puts Uday Kotak in charge to stem IL&FS crisis. Here in this we have to discuss what is this National Company Law Tribunal. Firstly, this topic comes under GS paper 3, Indian Economy. This National Company Law Tribunal is in use many times, and this is important for prelims and mains because of NPAs and insolvency and bankruptcy of companies problems. Nowadays, many companies are going for insolvency and bankruptcy, and banks declaring many companies as non-performing assets. So in this contest, this NCLT is so important. And now let us see what is this body, National Company Law Tribunal. This is a statutory body under Section 408 of Companies Act 2013. That is, if any body was constituted under the Act, we call that as statutory body. So this NCLT is a statutory body. And also, this is recognized as a quasi-judicial body. That means this NCLT has a power of a court of law. And what are the functions of this board? See, if any company want to revive or it want to rehabilitate its sick company, or if any company want to merge with any other company, or if any company want to divide from a company, that is demerging, or if any two companies want to mix, that is amalgamation, or if any company want to wind up, all these powers, that is in all these situations, they can come and approach this NCLT. And the next one is, if suppose there is a non-banking finance institution, for example insurance companies or any chit fund companies, all this, and if people have deposited in this National Company Law Tribunal has the power to ask these companies to return their deposits to the people. These in brief are the powers of NCLT. They can revive or rehabilitate, or it can see in the matters of mergers, demergers, amalgamations and wind up, and it can ask the non-banking finance companies to repayment the deposits of the people. It has power to wind up any company. The next article is Child Abuse Helpline gets levied calls. And this topic comes under GS paper 2, Social Justice, and in this you have vulnerable sections of society. In that, children is a topic, and here with that topic you have to see National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. What is this body? Commission Protection of Child Rights. Firstly, we'll be seeing whether it is a statutory body or a quasi-judicial body or a constitutional body or a non-constitutional body. It is a statutory body set up in 2007 under Commissions for Protection of Child Rights Act 2005. What are the objectives of this body? It is to protect, promote and defend the child rights in India. India have ratified one international convention called United Nations Convention on Rights of Children. On the year 1989, this convention was given. India have ratified this convention in 1992. So, we have to follow the rules of this convention, and to follow these rules of convention, to protect, promote and defend the child rights in India, this body was created. And this body falls under the administrative control of Ministry of Women and Child Development. And I have said this is a National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. And what is the definition of child we have to see here especially. And here the child is defined as 0 to 18 years of age. Normally we might having 0 to 14 years of age. No, here child is defined as 0 to 18 years of age. So remember this. From Bihar to Assam via Bangladesh. This topic comes under GS paper 1, Economic Geography, and also GS paper 3. In economy, we have transport. In that topic, this article will come. And in this article, we have to see inland waterways, that is National Inland Waterway 1 and Waterway 2. Firstly, why this inland waterways idea is being encouraged by present government? For two reasons. The first one is, in domestic transport, the share of Indian waterways is very much less when compared to the neighboring countries. So we have to increase the inland waterways transport. And this is also cheaper. As you know, water transport is cheaper than other transports of road and airways. And the third one is, in India, to travel to northeast India from mainland India, we have only chicken neck corridor, which is a very small part. And if this was blocked by China for suppose, and we don't have any other way to reach the northeast India apart from this Bangladesh through the waterways. So we are developing this waterways for these three regions. Firstly, share of waterways in domestic transport is less, and the second one is it is cheaper, and the third one is this is the best way of transport to reach to the northeastern India apart from this chicken neck corridor. Also, we have an extensive network of inland waterways in the form of rivers, canals, backwaters, creeks. And Inland Waterways Authority of India is a statutory authority that is in charge of these waterways in India. Now let us see what is the National Waterway 1. This is from Varanasi to Haldia and on Ganga, Bhagirathi and Hooghly river system, connecting these three rivers. And the second National Waterway 2 is from Sadia to Dhubri on Brahmaputra river. Similarly, 106 national waterways was recognized by the government. Center initiates probe into type 2 polio virus contamination. And this topic comes under GS paper 2, issues related to health. And we have to see polio disease in particular in this article. This is a highly infectious viral disease. First point is this is a viral disease mainly affecting children. As per WHO, this virus is transmitted from person to person mainly through facial oral, that is through mouth. And India was declared polio free, that is we have three categories of polio 1, 2 and 3. And in 2004, India is declared free of these two polios, polio 1 and 3. And in 2016, this polio 2 was declared free. What part of the body is affected by polio is nervous system. First, the polio will enter through mouth and it will multiply in the intestine, and there and from there it will affect the nervous system of the person, and most common we can see this polio disease in infants and young children. UN reporting on warming put countries in a spot. Here you have to see from environmental ecology perspective what is this Paris Agreement 2015. See, this was agreement signed between countries to reduce the pollution, thereby to address the problem of climate change. And this Paris Agreement is adopted by 185 nations and signed by 191 nations, and India have signed this agreement and ratified and became 62nd country to ratify it. And what they have discussed in this Paris Agreement is they have committed to reduce their emissions so that they cannot rise the temperatures well beyond 2 degrees centigrade pre-industry levels. That is, before industrialization happened, we'll be having some temperature, that is some average temperature. Let's say 1 degree centigrade. Now in this agreement they are saying, see, this is 1 degree centigrade, and if plus 2 means 3 degrees centigrade. So they are saying we will make some efforts to reduce our emissions such that the average temperature cannot increase beyond 3%, or 1.5 degrees will try, means slowly we will reduce the average temperature to 2.5 degrees by our efforts. Under this agreement, every country will say, I can contribute this much to reduce the emissions, and we call that as nationally determined contributions. There is a review commission, and for every 5 years this commission will review what the country have said, how much emissions it have to reduce and how much it have reduced. This will be seen or reviewed by this review commission. And in this agreement, developed countries have to contribute to the developing countries in reducing emissions. Why developed countries want to give to developing countries? Because in the name of industrialization, these developed countries have increased pollution. This increase in pollution have resulted in this climate change or increase in pollution levels in the country. So they are the contributors of the pollution. So they are asked to give funds to these developing countries. Before this Paris Agreement, there are many agreements to reduce greenhouse gases or to recover this ozone layer. There are many agreements. But what is the difference with this Paris Agreement and the other agreements is shared responsibilities. Most of the agreements apart from this Paris Agreement says the rich have to contribute to reduce the pollution. But only in this Paris Agreement said along with rich and developed countries, the developing countries also have to contribute to reduce the pollution. This is the difference. RBI to infuse 36,000 crore to ease liquidity. This topic comes under GS paper 3, Indian economy, and here you have to see about open market operations. What is this open market operations? This refers to buying and also selling of the government securities in the open market. Mainly, they will buy or sell the government securities to expand the money that is in the banking system or to contract the money that is in the banking system. And the purchase of securities or buying of securities by the government will inject the money in the banking system, and thereby it will stimulate the growth. Or the sales of securities will do the opposite, that is, it will contract the money from the banking system. US-Japanese pair win Nobel Medicine Prize. And from science and technology point of view, you can see this topic. Nobel Prize in Physiology or Nobel Prize in Medicine is given by Nobel Foundation, and this was given every year, and this is one of the 5 Nobel Prizes. In this year, for 2 people, they got Nobel Prize in Medicine for the discovery of how the body's natural defenses can fight cancer. There are many treatments for cancer, but this treatment for cancer is special because they have discovered in our body only how our immune system can attack these cancer cells up in the air. This article comes under GS paper 3, environmental and ecology. And the main thing in this article is about Delhi pollution. And mostly there are 3 reasons for Delhi pollution. Firstly, stubble burning. It means around Delhi, the regions of Punjab, Haryana and UP, the production of wheat was completed by this month and they will burn the waste, and that we call as stubble burning. And in this burning, lot of pollution happens. First, they will say this as the reason for Delhi pollution. And the second one is the vehicular pollution. And the third one is, this is the time of Diwali, so the crackers pollution. Mostly throughout the year, only vehicular pollution is there. But during this season, apart from this vehicular pollution, these 2 pollutions will add up and will raise the pollution of Delhi. To control this, the government is taking several steps, and this was there in the article. And this Environmental Pollution Control Authority is also a Supreme Court mandated body to recommend the measures that can be taken to reduce the pollution in the Delhi. And this authority has given 3 recommendations. First recommendation is this committee has said to put more emergency measures in the Delhi this time. And the second one is, this committee have suggested to increase the parking fees so that public can change from private transport to public transport facilities, thereby the pollution can decrease. And the third one is, they have asked to reduce the prices of Delhi Metro. The public can seek public transport instead of private transport, thereby they can reduce the pollution. And try to answer today's questions. Thank you, and you can access the core notes at www.civilsprep.in. Thank you.